Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Hallie Ammons. Throughout the year, we sit down with folks from our shared community to talk about how they are making a difference, both on campus at Villanova University and off. Today, I am delighted to welcome two of my colleagues to the show. Andrew Camuso, Executive Director of Dining Services, and McKenzie Baldorossi, Director of Strategic Initiatives. Andrew and McKenzie are leading several exciting initiatives on campus that are changing the dining culture at Villanova while preserving the values and community that makes Villanova so special. Welcome, Andrew and McKenzie. Thanks you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
It's an honor.
It's great to have you here. So, I want to start off with some introductions and talking a little bit about you both and your time at Villanova. And McKenzie, I will start with you. How long have you been at Villanova?
I have been here for 2 years now.
Excellent, excellent. And you're right behind me, so I feel like we're both sort of on the same timeline. And could you talk a little bit more about your role? What is the Director of Strategic Initiatives, and how does that pertain to your work with Andrew in Dining Services?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Director of Strategic Initiatives. My day-to-day looks a lot different every single day, which is exciting. I work for the Office of Auxiliary Services, so it's 8 departments within that office, and I help with financial planning and strategic planning for any new business development within those offices. And so that led to a countrywide search for Andrew's position last summer. So I led the search to find the new executive director of dining, and that was a fun project which brought the university Andrew.
That's amazing. I think personally, of course, amazing that you are now part of our Villanova team. But I think it's also incredible insight. I think many people don't have really know how universities and higher ed are structured in that way. And it's, these are big operations and, require a lot of hands on deck to make it happen. So that's really incredible. And we are obviously all very fortunate to get to work with you on a day-to-day basis. So I will, I want to continue in that vein for you, McKenzie, but also feel free to jump in, sure. Andrew. We know that the higher ed landscape is rapidly evolving. Things today are very different than they were 20, 25 years ago. And our institutions are, always looking for creative ways to serve our students and communities. And remain competitive. How does this look at Villanova for you? And I guess particularly in the dining services space, and what are you excited about?
Yeah, so benchmarking is a huge part of what I do for auxiliary services. So I've had the pleasure to go to about 7 or 8 different universities in the last 2 years and create relationships with them and tour their campus and specifically their dining programs and pick their brains and really learn from what they're doing and what has worked for them or hasn't worked for them. It's a great relationship builder and a great way to see where we are in the lexicon of campus dining. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree. So I think I've been very lucky to work at multiple higher ed institutions, from Harvard to Penn to St. Mary's College in California. And along the way, I've seen how dining's evolved over the last decade or so. And so coming to Villanova, I've created these kind of 5 pillars of how to keep us in the evolution of our dining program and to keep us competitive in the amenities war. And it kind of boils down to just like what our culinary offerings are. We're big on destination dining, so it's something for everybody. Technology, so data analytics is huge on helping us make good decisions. So everything from implementing a text and tell to live data feedback mechanism for us, so we can get data in live time, and then we can make decisions based off of what we're seeing in these texts. Sustainability is a huge thing. Students really are focused on where their food is coming from, where it's going, how it's being prepared. So sustainability is another one, and then just our inclusion for students with allergies, cultural celebrations. Those 5 points are really like what we're focused on to keep ahead of the curve on what students want to eat, because what students wanted to eat in the 90s and the early 2000s is much different than what students want to eat now. So
100%. And, even just from our own experiences, I'm sure, the way that our experiences were when we were in school, differ now. And I think so much has improved, based on technology and our awareness and our, and our values. So, and I definitely want to touch more on that in a few minutes. But first, I want to back up and ask you the same question that I asked McKenzie. You started recently at Villanova.
I did, yeah.
And, what are you, what does your role look like here at Villanova?
Yeah, so Executive Director of Dining Services, so overseeing our 20 locations on campus, as well as planning for the future of Cabrini's campus. So we're excited about kind of evolving our program even more so when we open up Cabrini. But day-to-day is always different. It's a lot of strategic planning and partnering with McKenzie on kind of where we're headed in the future. But our day-to-day operations, what our food offerings are evolving to, bringing new partners on campus. We're doing pop-ups throughout campus with special offerings. So really just changing the program up, giving the students more what we've seen in the survey and the benchmarking, providing those options. But every day is different, every day is fun. So it's been an exciting 6 months so far. So.
Well, we're neighbors in the same suite,
right,
so
yeah.
I often hear it. It does sound like a lot of fun. It
For
definitely
the viewers at home, what you don't know is we all sit next to each other.
Yeah. Unfortunate for Hallie.
No, we are very fortunate to work in close proximity.
But dining's competitive. I mean, it's a driving force of where you attend, college, and you remember the bookstore, you remember the campus green, you remember dining and what the students are talking about dining. So it's a great charge that Andrew's leading, and we're improving every single day.
I think to that point too, it's like students, especially first year students who are coming from, it could be anywhere around the world or far from home. The food is kind of that crutch, and it could bring memories or feel, like a lot of the students resonate with our staff, because our staff are who they see 3 to 4 times a day, and they have really strong relationships with them, and it's just an important piece of their day to day. So it's just, to us, we know dining is a huge competitive piece of what we do every day, and what we provide to our community. So.
Absolutely. It's that comfort. It's, where you're sharing your meals with your friends. It's where you're creating some of those, really formative memories. So obviously it's a huge component of culture and life at Villanova. I want to touch a little bit on, you mentioned the staff. Obviously we have an incredible staff of folks, working in dining services. We all get to interact with them in various points throughout our day. I am a constant regular at Holy Grounds. I drink so much coffee, but it's a highlight of the day when I get to interact with my colleagues who are or the student workers who are working at Holy Grounds. But can you talk a little bit about how big is the dining services team? And you mentioned there's 20 different facilities. How does that all work together, and what does that look like?
Yeah, so we're growing about to 300 employees. That's probably including the Cabrini future team, but spread over 20 locations. Our team works really hard. We have 3 what we call all you care to eat kind of traditional dining halls, and then 17 retail locations. So that includes our Holy Grounds, our business school location, our law school. So it's kind of spread out. So our teams, we're all human. So if there are sick days or Eagles parades, we have to figure out how to still, foster the community and provide. So the team works really hard. And I could say in all my experience in higher ed, the Villanova team is something special. There is a happiness. They are here to provide and really enjoy what they do every day. And that's something you don't find at every campus location. So we're very lucky with that.
I can definitely see that. There's just, even what seems unique to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like a lot of what our dining services does is special. There's a lot of homemade items, a lot of handcrafted items. There's a real focus on the quality of what's coming out of the kitchens. And it's just evident in all that they do.
The soul.
Yeah.
100%, 100%. And to that point, that dining is this cornerstone of Villanova's operations. We have approximately 6,800 undergraduate students, with approximately, I think it's close to maybe 3,000 graduate students plus staff. So there's a lot of people on campus on any given day. What does that translate into on a yearly basis? How many meals are we serving? How many people are we serving? Do you think roughly?
It translates by hundreds of thousands of meals for these locations. We have one of the highest participation rates in meal plans in the country with benchmarking, which we're very proud of. But it also helps us give back to the university financially. So that's also something that's not normal within our business, which is amazing. But yeah, I think that we're very lucky with that piece of it. 100%.
It's a big operation, but to me as a staff person, as a user of the services, it seems seamless. So there's definitely
we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take that. We appreciate that.
You did mention sustainability.
Sure. Yeah.
And sustainability is a key Villanova value. It's evident in many of the things that we do in areas of campus. And we can see that commitment to sustainable practices in our facilities, in our groundskeeping work, all throughout Villanova. Can you talk a little bit about some of the ways dining services is supporting sustainability?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's everything from how we're preparing our food to where we're purchasing our local partners. We're shifting to an emphasis on more local. So recently we just partnered with Little Leaf Lettuce, which is out of McAdoo, Pennsylvania. It's a greenhouse, so it's not traveling 3,000 miles where most lettuce in our region comes from. But also, we just launched these reusable containers. So I brought some props for you, Hallie.
This is amazing. This is so cool.
So these will be launched in the dining halls. And we have some pretty ambitious goals to one day that maybe our Cabrini operations will be fully in these containers. And then what you see here is this technology. It's called Topanga. Students will actually be able to scan them when they basically rent them out. And then when they return them on the dish machine, it will pick up your container and let you know it's been returned. So it should be a seamless operation.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so this will make it a lot easier. And then we'll see a reduction in our compostable usage. So we're excited for these. They're cool. They're blue because not every school has these. So just
Well, this is very cool. This is very, very cool. Very useful. And I think to your point, students and staff and faculty, we all really value this and love to see that commitment in practice in something as so simple as just a container to put your lunch in. And we're not
right. And you had recently this fall a catering event that was sustainable.
It was our sustainability conference where we made it a zero waste event, which is something we're actually focusing on with our catering department, where you can if you're booking a catered event through us, we'll provide like a green checklist and get you a certified green event so that we can guide you through how to get that certification for your event if that's something that's important to yourself or your department. So it's just kind of another level of our sustainability, working closely with our sustainability partners on campus. Then another piece we're adding, Villanova was one of the first universities to use this technology called Lean Path. We're bringing it back. It went away about 3 or 4 years ago, and we're going to bring it back. And it really focuses on pre-consumer and post-consumer waste. So when I say pre-consumer, it's, where is certain ingredients going from your production in the kitchen. So like a good example is like your carrot tops. Normally those will go in the trash, but hey, we can make a carrot top pesto and put it back out into the plate so it's not in a landfill.
Right.
And then the post-consumer part is when our students or staff and faculty are returning the dish room and scraping their food that they didn't eat. There'll be a scale and they'll be showing on a TV screen how much waste each week is being produced in that location. So there's like an educational part of it as well. So I think we'll see some good results in reduction of food waste, both pre and post with this technology. So sustainability is a big piece of what we're pushing in the last 6 months.
That's amazing. That's to hear all of the thought and the work that goes into it. But of course, it's part of the Villanova value set and just part of being a member of the community, right? We're here in the community. We're not an island unto ourselves.
That's right.
So hopefully all these practices have positive ripples outside of campus. So I really love this. So this is part of what's new or what's coming to Villanova. This is really exciting. I also want to talk a little bit about what else has been happening in the dining landscape at Villanova. There's been lots of new stuff that we've seen on campus, like you mentioned, pop-ups, new vendors. But I wanted you to get into some of those specifics, some of the things that you're really excited about.
I think sushi is probably our number one call out. So we partnered with a local sushi vendor. So we opened up a Cafe Nova location that was replacing kind of an empty space prior. It was our gelato, and we just kind of shifted gelato elsewhere and opened up this sushi concept. The sushi is made fresh every day on campus, so it's not coming elsewhere and refrigerated, hours ago. It's fresh. It's coming up to be served. We've seen quite a large increase in sales due to it. It's been quite the hit so far, so we're excited about that. I think that's going to just keep on growing, so we're excited about that piece. But then we just down in our South Campus, where majority of our first years eat, we opened up a new kind of a Tex-Mex style location, or all you care to eat. So the first year students have been really excited about that. We actually go down there because
it's delicious.
Really
the chicken is marinated like differently than the Tex-Mex offerings on main campus.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
It's good. It's good, and it's an option to customize. You can take a little piece from that station and take it to another station. So it gives the students more of a customizable approach to their dining experience. So yeah, we're really excited about that. And then we also worked with a local coffee roaster. So Holy Grounds is our world-renowned coffee program.
It's world-renowned to me.
Same. Yeah, so we onboarded a couple new partners this year. Starbucks being one, due to just student recommendations through surveying. But we also went local, which we saw there was a strong desire for that on campus as well through our surveying. So I have more props for you, Allie.
This is a first. I don't know that we've ever had props in the studio. So this is really exciting.
Yeah. So this is Golden Valley Farms. They're based out of Westchester.
Okay.
They're great partners, and what we did is we curated two special roasts with our dining team. We had some students come with us to do a coffee tasting and develop a brand for each. So we're really excited about this. And this is now served throughout our C-stores as well as the business school, the law school. But the great story about Golden Valley, it's family owned. It's in Westchester, which is very close to campus. It's a woman operated organization, which is great. We love to support that. And then even some of the beans that they get and source in South America is led by women, which is something that was unheard of 20 years ago. So we love to support this, and the coffee is really good. So we're excited about it.
It's really great to see all the creative ways that you're thinking about dining and serving students, but not just students, but our whole community, both internal and external. Before we go on to the next thing, I wanted to ask both of you, we talked about the size of the team, the amount of facilities that we have. This is a big part of what we do at Villanova. If there are members of our community who are interested in joining the team, what's the best way for them to find more information about that?
Yeah, I would say I would plug that. Working at Villanova is an amazing part of our everyday, right? So we're very lucky that we're a self-opt dining program. Traditionally, you'd find an outside kind of vendor that would run all the dining on campuses. So what comes with working in the dining is that you're part of the Villanova community, and you really feel that, which is probably why our staff is so happy and feels appreciated every day. So you could go on the website, villanovadining.com, or follow our social media at Villanova Dining. We've gotten a big following as of recent. Our social media has been stepped up, so there's ways to connect through there as well.
The social media is really great, I will say. Tons of fun, really interesting, but that's great. So those are a couple of avenues for members of our community if they're either interested in learning more or have questions about joining the team. Those are great ways to go about it.
We just launched our own identity brand called Smoothie Toss, which is a smoothies, acai bowl, and gelato concept that right in the Connolly Center. So feel free to join us there. We're actually partnering with an alums company called Pitaya, who will be offering, it's like frozen exotic fruits, and it's delicious. And the alum, I think he was a lacrosse player in the 90s. He's a CEO and owner now. So we're excited to partner with, we call them Villanova Zone is our program, and we support alums businesses. So it's another item or another option to come on campus. So,
before we wrap up, I think this has just been really fascinating. I think, there's so much exciting initiatives and new things happening at Villanova that I can't wait to see. I can't wait to learn more. I want to have you both back. And,
we'll be back.
Talk about, all the new things that are coming. But I think for now, that's a great place to leave it so that we have more to talk about next time.
More to come.
And you can bring samples.
So it's a teaser.
It is.
Yes.
It is. We will definitely have more to talk about. But so with that, I want to thank Andrew and McKenzie for joining us today, for taking the time. It was illuminating and educational. And I also want to thank all of you for joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about ways to stay connected to Villanova University, please visit www.villanova.edu/neighbors.